Ladies and gentlemen, boys and NBs, welcome back to Call of Duty, and we need to talk about Modern Warfare 4, which is either 25 or 2026. We've gotten both dates. We don't know what's coming. I don't even know if Activision knows what's coming next, but Modern Warfare 4 will be Infinity Ward's next title. Obviously, they're going to continue with the massive success they're having there. We'll get more DMZ, probably before that, if I'm honest. I'll have a video on that later this week, and some inside info I got from a source within Infinity Ward. And hey guys, before we get into this, just make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here, because over 90% of my viewers are not subscribed, and I would hate you to not be able to find your way back here for my incredible voice and opinions. Just kidding. I drop content all the time, and we're doing big things here, baby. Let's get into it. As far as this goes, however, if you haven't seen the numerous videos that have went up over the last few weeks, here's just a couple of them from Ink Slasher, Nero's Cinema, and a couple of others. I'm not going to throw a ton of them on screen, but everyone has been talking about the reports that Infinity Ward is at an absolute standstill with the development of Modern Warfare 4 because the team is seemingly unhappy with the narrative and the mechanics of the game, and Activision is putting severe pressure on the studio as a whole. Now let's stop for a second and break this down into two categories. First, there's the narrative. Second, there's the mechanics. With the narrative, when they were forced to give whatever expansion DLC campaign they had for Modern Warfare 2's second year to Sledgehammer Games, we got a whole lot of slop for what is one of the worst Call of Duty campaigns in history. We can't forget games like Vanguard, so it isn't the worst, though it did do a lot of damage, so maybe it is. I'm sure they cannot be happy about the absolute horrific job Sledgehammer did with their IP. I'm pretty sure that there was a full narrative put together for the game. If they needed to expand, they could have talked with the creative team at Infinity Ward if they needed to make it longer, and they didn't know what to do. It's very easy. They destroyed the entire narrative of the game. However, on the mechanics side, where we have the mechanics of the game, to me, this is mainly about Omni movement, but also the ridiculous time to kill that we've seen this year that is staying for Black Ops 6. With the awful netcode of the servers, it feels horrendous, especially with this new packet burst from not being able to hold all of the shaders on your computer or your console. So it's just getting worse. It was speeding everything up, and not having headshots in the game is another one. It's just all bad. And with the way Infinity Ward makes their games with more than just movement in mind, which I do need to say that Infinity Ward has made the best multiplayer experience in Call of Duty history twice in a row now, refining their craft between Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2 2022. The only people who don't like it are these so-called movement players. They always tell players like me to adapt and get good. Strange that as soon as they remove a little bit of over-the-top movement, now you all hate the game and think it's a piece of trash. It sounds like you're the ones who needed to adapt and get good, because it's a skill issue, little bro. And since you couldn't adapt, you suffered and trash-talked Modern Warfare 2 so badly that they invented Omni movement for Black Ops 6. It's like they forgot that Call of Duty is supposed to be a tactical shooter, not a parkour simulator. Let's all shed a tear for the movement kids who constantly scream skill issue and get good, but couldn't adapt to a game with less movement and got absolutely walked on because they couldn't rely on their kangaroo hops or greased up slide cancels.
Oh, this is my favorite event. Catch the greased up deaf guy.
Go!
You're never gonna catch me. You're wasting your time. Forget about it. Go do something else. See you next year.
Maybe it's time to learn how to aim and strategize your positioning instead of just bouncing around the map like your mom at last call. So to all the movement enthusiasts out there, maybe you should have adapted to the game most like original Modern Warfare 2 since original Modern Warfare 2. Maybe you should think about getting good instead of crying about it. We all know the truth though. Without movement, you can't aim or shoot for shit. And this is the problem. With all of that said, the problem is that it's all about ADHD, TikTok movement, brain rot content on the smallest maps that can be made. Granted, we might get a large map or 2 if we're lucky, as Treyarch, the awful studio that they are, did have to steal maps from Sledgehammer Games. Don't get me started on Sledgehammer Games either. The fact of the matter is, the only studio that can actually make a good Call of Duty, and mind you, with Modern Warfare 2019, they made Verdansk and all of Warzone as a whole on top of it. With Modern Warfare 2022, they remade Warzone, they made DMZ, they made raids, the campaign, the multiplayer, all of it. They made the campaign in the original Modern Warfare in 2019 as well. Raven Studios has made the campaign for Treyarch with Black Ops 6, meaning that Treyarch has only had to make zombies and multiplayer, but it took them 2 years to get on the Infinity Ward engine. If you know anything about game development, that is absolute horse hockey, and it is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. It cannot take 2 years for 4,000 people to move a game onto an engine. They may have spent 3 to 4 months on this. So for 4 years, the developers at Treyarch, and apparently Raven Studios as well, essentially did nothing other than work on ranked play and Modern Warfare Zombies, which is just DMZ with all of the good parts ripped out and zombies slapped on top. So once again, Infinity Ward's work with Modern Warfare Zombies being bastardized. I don't know what these guys have done for 4 years other than collect a paycheck and sit on their asses. I'm genuine here. This is a catastrophe. Black Ops 6, outside of zombies, I will say zombies will be tolerable. But outside of that, this game is going to be awful, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Let me get back on track. With what seemingly is Infinity Ward telling Activision, we're not going to make Omnislop, we're not going to bend the knee, and we're not going to make dog shit games that no one wants to play. We're going to make the game that we want to make, that we know there's an audience for. The proof is in the pudding, because there are currently more people playing DMZ than there are people playing Big Map Battle Royale. Don't believe me? Go load into any of them. You will find a DMZ match on any map faster than you can find solos, duos, trios, or quads on Big Map. There are also stats that show that DMZ is ticking up. If you look in Google Trends, once again, it has reached a new high in players for the off-season as it's not getting support. There's still a robust group of people playing Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer like any other Call of Duty that is not the mainline title, but I really doubt Modern Warfare 3 is going to have that, as most people who want that sloppy movement are going to move to Omnislop. So when we do get this new game from Infinity Ward, I really hope it is incredible and it isn't destroyed from Activision trying to force this sloppy, high TTK, no headshot benefits, just absolute dog shit game mechanics down their throat, ruining every game mode that they make. And I really hope they can salvage the narrative of the campaign so we can get that, more raids, and hopefully all of the suite of content that Infinity Ward brings to the table that 2 studios combined cannot match with over 4,000 developers and almost half a decade to do. To the new generation who has decided Call of Duty is an arcade shooter, you're wrong. Call of Duty is a boots on the ground first-person shooter, not a run and gun or arcade shooter. You're the ones who decided to play the game in an entirely different way, where movement and breaking cameras for an advantage on aim assist is all that matters. You choose to not play tactically. All the things that you complain about are the things that make Call of Duty a tactical shooter. If you complain about campers, guess what? That's a form of tactic in objective-based mode. Waiting for idiots like you to run in without checking corners because you're an easy target. If you complain about teammates stacking, guess what? Tactics. They're holding down or pushing an objective while maintaining the upper hand, which is a tactical playstyle. You complain about hard-scoping snipers, but guess what? That's just a tactical shooter that's holding a position, waiting for you to run into their crosshairs, and you will. Knowing map rotations, squad composition, player routes, and choke points are all properties of a tactical shooter. Movement players will say that all of these types of gamers have a skill issue and they need to get good, which is so ironic because if you were as good as you think you are, you would be able to counter all of these types of players who are playing tactically, but you think playing smart and tactically is a skill issue. You complaining about it means that you can't beat it. So wouldn't that mean that you're the ones with the skill issue and you're the ones that need to get good? I don't know, guys. That's going to do it for me. Hopefully Infinity Ward can figure this out. But until next time, leave me alone and like the video.
I think she likes me. Everybody likes me. Likes me. Likes me. Everybody likes me. Everybody likes me. a sexy magazine.